folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and as always, we love hearing from y'all, your comments, your stories, your ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Ryan Long Shotgun, as always, my producer, sound engineer, and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, I've been out of the place for a few days, and he has been taking care of the outfit, and I came home to a little bit of a surprise.
Under duress, almost.
Well, I did ask you if you could handle it.
It was all fine.
It was all fine. I know the Border Collie is still here. I'm glad to see you remembered to take care of her.
I watered your horses.
You did.
Your mums, your flowers, I watered those.
I was on an excursion with the girls, and I did get a text from Tigger while gone showing that, yes, my beautiful horses were getting their treats and fed, and
They got taken care of.
just so you know, I did share it with the girls. They got to see that, yes, Tigger was doing a great job.
They didn't question it, though, because
No
they know
comment.
how I am. I literally was the one who packed for your trip and everything.
Well, you were the one that absolutely had my pack pulled out in plenty of time. Like the day I booked the tickets for this excursion, I think back in July, you went out to the shop we have a room that we just keep all of our gear in, and you had it out ready to go.
So are we going to talk about your trip this episode?
We are going to get to
Okay,
that,
got
but
it.
first I wanted to give you kudos because when I walked in the door, there was a surprise. And how do I put this? We now have a friendly ghost in our living room, and he was made from a Christmas tree. So yes, our Christmas tree is up already.
I saw this on Facebook. Let me back up a little bit so that maybe those people that are just joining us, you go nuts over decorations. It doesn't matter what holiday is. Could be Halloween, Christmas, it could be Arbor Day. It doesn't matter. You just love to decorate. So I thought it would be kind of a neat surprise. And also, since we host a pumpkin carving party every year for Halloween, it would be nice if you would come home to some decorations. I just happened to see on Facebook, somebody took their Christmas tree, they put it up, they put a white bed sheet over the top of it, they cut holes in it, and made it look like a ghost. I thought, I'm going to do the same thing. So I put the tree up. I had to go buy a new bed sheet, like $16 because I couldn't find a used white one anywhere. So I got a bed sheet. I put it over the top. I cut little holes in it. I went and I put the skirt around the base of the tree. I put little pumpkins at the base of the tree, and it kind of looks like a ghost.
Okay, so
It scared me in the middle of the night, the first night that I had to go up and go to the bathroom.
it's pretty funny because I walked in the house and I immediately at first was like, wow, there is a huge ghost in our living room. Or at least I think that's what it's supposed to be. And
It was a nice surprise.
It was an amazing surprise.
It was a Pinterest deal gone wrong. I was trying to do something. Normally, I will go and I will get Beck flowers or just something like that. That she just has something when she comes back from her trips and her excursions that she goes on. And I thought I would do something different and just try decorating a little bit. And because we have had some pretty hard freezes, I was a little reluctant to go and fill the front yard full of pumpkins.
That's a good point because it gets to be a hassle this time of year where we're at because it does. We'll deal with 50s to 70-degree days. And
Hey,
then
a few days ago, we had 90-some.
Right.
And now down to, 27 it was down to the other night.
The temperatures dropped
It was
out. They
chilly.
fell out. So that's right. So those pumpkins just don't handle that cold weather, and they aren't going to last till pumpkin carving time if you would have set them out. But I did. I really appreciated coming home to our ghost Halloween tree.
Our border collie was not crazy about it. Kind of looked up and what the hell was that kind of sort
Let's
of
be
thing.
real. She keeps moving her bed every
Yeah,
night so
she
she
doesn't
doesn't
like
have to sleep beside said ghost. But if you're looking for a reason to put up that Christmas tree, because they do say those of us that put our Christmas tree up well in advance are much happier people, this is an option
says
for
that?
you. I do.
Those people that do.
I do.
I was against putting the tree up long before, but I thought, okay, I'll compromise and I'll make it a Halloween tree. So there you go, dear.
I like it. I love it.
Welcome
Thank
home.
you. All right, our first news story out the gate. This one deals with a kayaker who's been busted smuggling into another country turtles. A Vermont woman recently pleaded guilty to smuggling 29 eastern box turtles into Canada. The woman was caught with the turtles strapped to her body as she paddled across a lake in an inflatable kayak. She is now facing 5 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine.
Okay, but she just went literally across the creek.
Right.
And the turtles are there across the lake. So that's, you can't.
No. So anybody, as you're doing your trips, your excursions, I mean, they did have it documented. She had plans to sell these Eastern box turtles.
So it was legit.
You're going from one country to another country. I know a lot of times we forget about that Canadian border. We are leaving our country. So again, I found this as an interesting story, though. A $250,000 fine. Now tell me, Tigger, would you try a slice of this? Listen to this.
Yes.
The world's oldest cheese has been unearthed in China. Look at you changing now your mind.
Nope.
Researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences discovered a 3,600-year-old, that's 3,600 years old, cheese buried with Bronze Age mummies. The cheese, identified through DNA analysis, is kefir cheese made from cow and goat milk. The findings sheds light on an ancient dietary practice and probiotic evolution. That's what they're saying about this. Dumb. I did say they were going to actually eat it.
Okay, but how much is that cheese worth? That's the thing, because I've seen you shown me some videos of this. What is that called? The big round thing. What's that called?
The wheel.
Wheel. Okay, a wheel of cheese that you can go over to Europe, and a wheel of cheese will sell for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for this wheel. Huh?
You can go to Costco and buy a wheel of cheese. It'll run you about $1,000.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
We can go across the river up down to Costco and we can get a wheel of cheese?
Go on Costco.com or whatever Costco's website is.
I'm going to fact check you on this.
You will be surprised to see what kinds of cheeses you can buy as a wheel of cheese and what it'll cost you.
I am going to fact check you
I'm going to throw this out, though, for those of you that are looking for some great experiences on some of your travels, especially if you go to Europe. Highly recommend going to one of these cheese making facilities. It's fascinating how this happens. I was able to do that a few years back, and I highly recommend it.
Okay, I just fact checked you. $949.99 on Costco for a whole wheel. What's that word?
Parmigiano.
It's a 72-pound hunk of cheese.
See, and you doubted me.
$13.20 per pound. I'll just take my little craft singles.
All right, one more story before we take a break for y'all. Did you know that there is somebody out there that's come up with the idea of rent a friend? Listen to this. There's a gentleman from Japan. He rents himself out as a professional friend for $100 a day who refuses to offer.
Is this a naughty site?
I was just going to say,
is this naughty?
He refuses to offer any gigolo services and turns down requests to attend pop concerts. That's just funny. Not his deal. But despite his quiet nature, the man, he says he enjoys his work and hopes to continue doing this as a do-nothing guy, is what he calls himself, for life. That it's making a career out of this.
But $100 a day is not a lot of money.
It isn't, and this is in Japan. So bring it over here to the United States, it'll cost you a bit more. But if you're looking for a unique profession down the road, apparently there's a need for this rent-a-friend idea.
Try
Just throwing it out there.
Not you try it, but somebody else can try
it. Well, you're not gonna toss me away. You're always gonna be my friend.
I will. I'm not gonna pay you $100 a day. Maybe in cheese.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're talking about my latest adventure. Stay where you are. The Ben Show is back right after this.
The hunt is planned. The guide is booked. The trip is blocked off in the calendar. But one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
shooting ducks, skinning bucks. I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
Is there that particular pair of boots or that shirt or pair of jeans that you just can't find anywhere else? Check out Medora Boot and Western Wear. Medora Boot and Western Wear is the go-to for boots, jeans, especially jackets, and even those hard-to-find accessories that make perfect gifts. Check out MedoraBoot.com, or better yet, give Kim a call at 701-623-1005 and tell Kim that Tigger and Beck sent you. For the latest in Western and outdoor practical and fashionable wear, there is only one, Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Welcome back to The Ben Show, starring Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. Did you see how I did that? You are back from your adventure. You and some girlfriends went on a quick trip to Zion. Did I say it right? It's not Zion National Park. It's
Zion.
Zion.
You got
is
it.
how it's pronounced. You found that out from going there. That people said this is how you pronounce it.
I found out from the locals I was pronouncing it wrong all these years.
So welcome back. You had a little quick trip. Tell us about this. What went on? What happened? How did this all come together?
I had a fantastic trip. I'm going to bring this up, especially if anyone's looking for a quick trip, a girl's trip, maybe a guy's getaway. Zion offers so much for everybody. It is gorgeous. I don't even know how to put it into words how beautiful of a national park this is. And it's in Utah, for those of you that did not know where Zion National Park is located. Our girls' trip, yes, us gals sat around back in July. We were grabbing supper one night, and one of my girlfriends brought up saying, hey, Beck, you love hiking. Have you ever thought about going to Zion? And I looked at her and said, no, I hadn't. And she said, what about us flying into Vegas and going to Zion? And I said, wait, I can fly into Vegas and we can drive to Zion? Turned out it was a little over 3-hour drive. That's it.
So super cheap. Well, I shouldn't say super cheap, but flying into Vegas usually is fairly reasonable when you consider some other locations that flying into. So you flew into Vegas, rented a car, and went to the park.
Yes,
Got
that's
it.
exactly what us gals did. And I bring up Las Vegas because it had never dawned on me before to use it as a hub. It is an excellent hub for a lot of national parks, I found out. I've been to Vegas many, many times, and I have never, for some reason, never crossed my mind to use that as the hub because, yes, you can access Vegas from almost anywhere, not just the United States, the world. It's got some of the most planes coming in at all times at the most inexpensive prices.
I had my family was blowing up our group text, as most families do. You got the group text, right, that everybody's involved with. I was surprised. I had no idea that Zion National Park is on one of my sister's bucket lists to go to. And then my other sister, Lisa, she had already been there with her family. I had no idea that they went there.
It is a gorgeous, gorgeous park. And the drive from Las Vegas to Springdale, Utah, which is where you enter into Zion National Park, it is a terrific drive. Let me tell you, there are lots of places you can stop, pull over, do a little hike to stretch the legs. We even were able to fit in the Valley of Fire State Park, which is in Nevada. That's gorgeous. It just is a location. Let me just put this. If it's been on your bucket list or hasn't been on your bucket list to go to Zion National Park, it needs to be put on your bucket list.
So what was the weather like when you were there? Was it hot? Was it cool? Is it desert? I saw pictures. It kind of looks kind of deserty, I guess.
Yes. So right now we're going into their busy season because of the heat, like you imagine. In the summer, it is extremely,
it's just too darn hot. Okay, that makes sense.
I think I even took a picture of a stop sign, and below it said, "Beware, heat will kill you." I mean, you have to take it very serious.
So what was the temperature when you were there?
We were dealing with 90 degrees during the day, and then we would wake up to about 45 degrees in the morning.
Oh, wow. So kind of perfect in a way.
It was.
Got nice and cool at night. And
It was. And us gals, we planned our trip because we knew we didn't have a lot of time. We did this as a very short trip, a trip that could be done over, say, like a long weekend. You took off Friday and Monday kind of a thing. And so our time was very limited, and we didn't do a ton of planning, but how do I put this? We did enough to make it very efficient and
you
get
had
to see
kind
what
of an
we needed to
itinerary.
see. Yes.
And so the main purpose of this is sightseeing, yes, but it is not sightseeing. It is actually experiencing the sights, because it's all about hiking in those particular passes that you were in, right? That's kind of the purpose of why you would go to Zion National Park.
Absolutely. Zion has some spectacular hikes. And us gals, we sat down and knew that we were going to be getting in the afternoon on our first day into Zion National Park. And a lot of these hikes are many miles in. So you have to really plan ahead so that you get back out before it gets dark, kind of a deal.
Oh, okay.
Zion National Park, I was surprised. I never knew this until I started planning for it. They do not allow us to drive through the park like many national parks. We're used to Yellowstone, Glacier. You can drive through them. You're not allowed to unless you have a special permit. And the only way you get a special permit is you're staying at the Zion National Lodge located in the park. Otherwise, you have to be to the town called Springdale, which is at the beginning of Zion National Park. Make sure you find a parking spot. The free parking is very limited. Be prepared to pay parking and use a shuttle system to see the park. And now these shuttles are very efficient. They go around all day up until about 7 p.m. at night. So they shut down about an hour before sunset. So that's why you have to really look and say, I want to go hiking, then I have to make sure I'm back to that shuttle bus stop in time to make it back to
get
town.
out of the park in the first darn place.
You got it.
So there is a fair amount of planning that needs to go in. I mean, yes, be spontaneous and enjoy, but to really enjoy it, you really kind of need to have some sort of a game plan. And I know that you gals did a lot of research on this, because even you, with all of your travels internationally even, you spent a lot of time planning, and you were surprised of, oh my gosh, we needed a permit to go on this particular pass, that you needed a permit there too.
What he's talking about is the famous Angel's Landing. That is a very famous hike. And yes, you have to put in for a permit to be drawn. And we put in for our permits back in July and were denied.
Oh, so it's kind of like getting a hunting license.
It's a lottery system.
Oh, it's a lottery.
Now,
I didn't know that. I thought you gals opted not to put in. You did apply.
We did apply.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We did
I didn't know
apply,
that part of
and
it.
we were denied. And just so you know, kind of the age bracket of us gals, we ranged from early 50s all the way down to 19 years old. There were 4 of us. So pretty good demographic of us gals, and we are all in, I wouldn't say the best shape, but we're not worse shape
you're
either.
in decent shape.
We're okay shape.
We can all
But we were
stand a shit if you
denied.
don't.
We did find out that there is a last minute lottery that say you arrive in Zion. You can try and throw the dice one more time into the hat, and the National Park System does pull out a couple of names kind of as like, whoa, yay, you just got drawn. But we opted to not even throw our names in because we just knew our time frame was too short. However, did we hike up to Scouts Outlook, which is part of the Angel's Landing hike? Yes, we did. And that was an extreme 2 miles uphill, and we're talking extreme with a lot of switchbacks. We were so proud of ourselves that we got to that point. It was, how do I put this? We were on a high the entire day because we had made it that far.
That's what you said, that you were experiencing kind of that runner's high per se that some people talk about. Now, there is so much more to this adventure. People are thinking, you're just carrying on about Beck's vacation. Well, yeah, actually we are. But there's more to this, and I know we're going to talk about it in the next few weeks to come. One of your modes of transportation that you used, you said was game-changing. The other gals were questioning this, but they said this was probably the highlight of their trip. But we'll talk about that in episodes yet to come. So I'm just glad that you're back in one piece, that you didn't roll an ankle or anything like that. My one last question that I have before we go to break, and that was when we were prepping all of your gear, and you are very much 5 minutes before you leave, you'll throw stuff into a suitcase. I am 5 months before you leave, I've got everything labeled and all this, right? So, like trekking poles, that was one of the things that you and I talked about prior to your trip. Would you say that trekking poles, if you would do a hike like this, is a must?
Yes, and I'm one of those that's usually very hesitant to drag my trekking poles along. And last minute, Tigger and I went back and forth, and I decided I was going to check a suitcase, an extra large suitcase with my big pack and my trekking poles in it, because that's the only way you can take your trekking poles on the airplane, by the way, is you have to check your luggage.
Yep, we checked that out.
And I was grateful that I had them, because especially on the way down, I did not need them on the way up. On my hikes, I needed those on the way down.
Well, glad you're back in one piece. Nobody rolled an ankle or anything like that. Now, I'm excited. I want to go on one of these adventures. And like I said, next week, we're going to talk about a mode of transportation that you said was game-changing, and it was the highlight for everyone. So kind of looking forward to hearing more about that story.
This is The Ben Show. We're going to be back right after this short break.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadron Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit cowboychannelplus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and right along shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Thought we'd do a little update on what's going on in our neck of the woods, as yes, hunting season, it is on, and what is in our sights right now? Pheasant season. We, out the chute, have been having some great success. Tigger was out with some of our nephews a weekend ago when it opened, and they limited it out, right?
Huge success. Yeah, the boys had huge success hunting the pheasants, and I'm not so sure on this that people have been questioning if we have had a double hatch this year.
I've heard about this.
People have been talking about it. I don't know if it's possible or not. I guess I'm not a follower of the pheasants to that degree, but we have had varying different sizes of pheasants. It seems that they're either the roosters we're getting are the aged birds, they're bigger, or they're very, very, very young. I'm seeing, and it's very. You saw the pictures that I showed you of the hunt. You were off still in Vegas doing your thing.
I was
and
in Zion.
Zion. You were hiking, and so I don't know. I'm curious. Somebody weigh in on this if that is possible. That there are times maybe there's two hatches.
And where we're located is in the Dakotas. Have you heard anything about there having been a double hatch this year? And we're excited because we're going out again.
Not gonna complain. Not gonna complain. mind, as soon as we turn the button off on this and we're off air, we are out hunting again.
Quick tip for y'all, though, that are going pheasant hunting. Check with your taxidermists just to make sure they agree with what I'm going to tell you. But if you're planning to do a pheasant mount, a rooster mount, the old saying used to be throw them in nylons,
In
pantyhose, and
yeah.
throw it in the freezer. We have learned over the years from our taxidermists that no, don't be doing that. Actually put them in big garbage bags,
Yep.
or else, if it fits in a Ziploc bag, which I doubt it will, but put it in a
Mine won't.
put it in a big bag, and so the moisture stays with the bird, because if you don't, the birds will dry out and the feathers will fall out.
And we'll make sure that we post some pictures here of what goes on towards evening when we go pheasant hunting again tonight.
Exactly. And what else do we have in the works? Well, I'm getting my gear together because I'm going to be heading out elk hunting soon. I don't have a tag, but I'm riding along with some others. So, see, we've got hunting in our sights. That's all we've got going on around here.
Beck, you've got hunting in your sights. I just get to go after birds.
And that's a wrap for this week's show. Remember to keep sending in any questions you might have. You can call or text anytime, especially those field reports. We want to hear how the hunting is going. That number is 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can always email benradioshow@gmail.com. And if you missed part of this show or you want to catch up on past episodes, head to our website, thebendshow.com, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to the Ben Show YouTube channel. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me back all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram @The Ben Show. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.